Hey guys, it's Carla Lee from Voice for Kids. I just came back to share some more information with you about what's coming up on the 12th of October, which is Parental Alienation Awareness Day. It's a really important day, and we want to stop PA for kids. Okay, Voice for Kids always speaks on behalf of the children, and we need to understand that parent alienation is actually also affecting our children. So I just really thought last night to myself, there's probably people that are not really understanding how parent alienation is affecting children and what it actually is. So I'm just going to give you a brief few minutes about it and how it probably looks when parents go to court and how hard it is for these parents that have been alienated and what happens to the children when an alienating parent starts to play on a child's mind. Okay, so we have a situation where we have a separation, we have a divorce, obviously, and obviously in the situation of parent alienation, it's not a very cool, calm, fair situation. It's not like we're going to get along, let's work together, let's do this in the best interest of the kids. There's obviously an alienating parent. Okay, so we have court situations where obviously we get one really, cool, calm, and collected parent that walks in. They're quite confident because they've got the kids, they've got it all together, and they present very well. And underlining that is usually, borderline sociopath, narcissistic person, a great manipulator, and sadly this person has, done their homework well and done it well on their kids. And in contrast to that, we have a parent who's probably got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, very angry, very uptight, very stressed, hasn't seen their kids for weeks, months or years, and they present obviously in a different way, quite anxious, uptight, worried that, will I get to see my kids now? Will the court work in my favour? Even give me 50-50 custody? Most of these parents aren't even trying to argue to get full custody, they just want time to see their kids. So what happens is, sadly, sometimes in the court is a book's getting judged by its cover, and these parents that are uptight, being told probably from the other side, see how angry uptight he is, see how angry uptight she is, how they present themselves, that's how they are with my children, that's why I don't want them there. But they're not remembering that this person who's walked into this court, as I said, it's usually come from a situation of probably PTSD, very nervous, very anxious. And, we need to start judging people in that way and start to realise that these parents come in like this because they're so desperate to see their children. And usually what happens in a situation when there's alienation, obviously the alienating parent aligns children with them. And the alienated parent starts to have unhealthy enmeshment with the child, and the child starts to lose its individuality, and the child starts to be what the parent wants it to be. So the child doesn't really have much of a say. This is how the child has to think now, this is how the child has to be, and it's quite unhealthy. And then we have the alienating parent giving the kids adult decisions. And things like, why don't you decide if you want to live with mum or dad, or whichever parent they're not with, why don't you decide? And they start to put adult decisions on children. But you've got to remember, by this stage, there's probably been months, weeks and years of manipulation happening where, your mum and dad, whichever parent you're not with, they're not a really good parent. They didn't really care about this. So, I don't think it's probably best for you to be with them, because of blah, 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 blah. So what happens then is the kids, when they're asked that question, why don't you decide if you want to be with your mum or dad, they're frightened to even think of making that decision to go, because they're pretty much been brainwashed all this time that that's not a good parent to be with. And it becomes quite sad. So, I think it's really important. We need to educate parents to be more cooperative. We need to educate parents about being fair. We need to educate parents about putting the kids first and stop this manipulation. In the end, what happens is, I believe a lot of these children grow up, they get to the age where, a legal age, where they can make the decision themselves. They find out that that parent is not all those things. They find out that that parent has always loved them, usually written them letters, kept them letters aside if they weren't allowed to send them. And they end up going over to the parent that wasn't the alienator. And so it's like you're doing all this hard work for about 5, 6, 7, 8 years as an alienator, and in the end it falls apart. So I just hope you get on board with the 12th of October, as I said, Parental Alienation Awareness Day. I'm Carla Lee for Voice for Kids. Go to voiceforkids.com if you want to know more about myself and my story of being a child divorce. I have books available and ebooks online. And stay tuned for more videos coming up till the 12th. Thanks for listening.